Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Dr. Henry Monka, the CEO of a company called Posit Science. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Monka.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure, Fred. Thanks for having me.
Well, give us an overview of what Posit Science is all about. You have an app called Brain HQ.
Yeah, that's right. So fundamentally, what we're all about is harnessing the brain's natural ability to rewire itself. The idea that the brain can change structurally, functionally, and chemically, really at any age. To harness that basic science and build that into a set of science-based brain exercises that actually work to speed up and make more accurate how your brain processes information. And in doing so, improve cognitive function, things like memory, attention, and processing speed.
And you've published the results of a new study that shows brain exercises can help with pre-dementia patients. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's right. This work was actually led by academic researchers from the University of Rochester, in particular Drs. Venki Lin and others at University of Rochester, and they used our brain training program called Brain HQ. And what they did is they studied people who have a condition that's called MCI, or mild cognitive impairment. And what MCI is it's kind of what you get before you get dementia or Alzheimer's disease. It's when maybe you or your spouse or your doctor starts to notice that, hey, your memory is really going downhill. You don't really meet the criteria for Alzheimer's yet, but it's pretty clear that your forgetfulness is beyond just a few senior moments that might affect any of us as we age. And so what the team at University of Rochester did is they recruited a number of patients with mild cognitive impairment, and they randomized them into two groups. And half of them did brain training on Brain HQ, and half of them did ordinary games, things like Sudoku and solitaire, the kind of things that a lot of people might do to keep their minds busy. And what they showed quite beautifully was that after training, cognitive speed in the Brain HQ training group improved, which we expected. But the real breakthrough is that they also did functional magnetic resonance brain imaging on all of these patients. And what they showed was that the reason that cognitive function improved in the brain training group was these really dramatic changes in brain connectivity networks. Quite literally, regions of the brain that normally talk to each other, so to speak, were actually talking to each other faster and more accurately as a result of the brain training. And so that gives us insight into how we're improving cognitive function in this particularly vulnerable group of patients.
Step us through the app, how it's used and what the user experience is like.
Yeah, so the brain exercises are designed so that you can use them on the web or your mobile device, your iPhone, your Android tablet, what have you. And doing the exercises is a little bit like doing a certain kind of video game, one might say, but one that's designed specifically to make your brain faster and more accurate. So, for example, one of the key exercises, actually invented a number of years ago by Dr. Carleen Ball and Dr. Dan Runker, another group of academics. And what it's designed to do is improve the speed of your divided attention. And so when you do this exercise, you see the screen, and in the center of the screen, it flashes a little image. It might be a little car or a little truck. And it's hard to see which one is which. You really have to pay attention to the center of the screen. And at the same time you're doing this demanding accuracy task in the center of your vision, it also flashes like a little road sign off in your peripheral vision. And you have to notice where that happened, like the 1 o'clock position or the 6 o'clock position and so forth. And that might sound easy when I'm describing it, but when you're doing it on your computer, it goes by quite quickly. And because your attention is captured by the center of the screen, that little car, that truck, it's quite hard to notice what's going on in your peripheral vision. So as you train, you do the task, and it's adaptive. If you get it right, it gets a little bit faster. And if you get it wrong, it gets a little bit slower. So it rapidly homes in on your unique brain speed and attention powers. And then as, of course, you work on it, most people generally get better at it. And as you get better at it, certain things get harder. We might move those targets further into your peripheral vision, or there might be more distracting items that appear on the screen. And what that does is step by step, it improves your overall ability to take in visual information quickly and accurately across your visual field. Now, you might ask, hey, that seems like kind of a weird thing to do on a computer. Why would that be helpful in the real world? But of course, it turns out that in many cases, when we're moving about the real world, let's say driving is a great example, you need to be able to pay attention to what's right in front of you, but you also need to be able to be alert to things that are changing in your peripheral vision, like maybe a kid, maybe you're driving and a child has stepped into the street to chase a ball, or you're at a stop sign and there's a truck coming on one of the cross streets. And in fact, it's been shown that improving at this kind of speed of processing and attention exercise actually makes people safer drivers as they age because they notice the world around them better. And what Dr. Lin and the other researchers in the University of Rochester showed at the most recent study is that that exercise and a family of exercises like that again are these intensive adaptive exercises that improve speed and accuracy of processing, actually improve the functional brain connectivity. We can literally see information flowing through the brain more quickly and more accurately. And that's why we see these real world improvements, for example, in driving safety.
I think you have some competition in this space. How are you different and better?
You know, what really makes us different is the science. I'm a scientist by training. I did a PhD at the University of California, San Francisco, and our company was founded by my mentor, Dr. Michael Merznick. And Dr. Merznick, he's world famous in the world of neuroscience. And of course, what that means is every neuroscientist has heard of him, but maybe not everyone else in the world. And what Dr. Merznick is famous for is his discovery that the adult brain is plastic and can be rewired in this way. And he's really been an innovator throughout his career. He's part of the team at UCSF that invented the cochlear implant in the 70s. So back when everyone thought that deafness was incurable, he and his team realized you could build a medical device that would replace the cochlea, the part of the ear that translates sound vibrations into neural firing, and build an artificial cochlea and restore hearing and language. Nobody believed that was possible, but he did, and he invented that. And he went on then to show that the adult brain is plastic in the way that we're taking advantage of. So what makes us different at Posit Science is that deep understanding of brain plasticity. We get the science right. What also makes us different is that we're really one of the only companies in this whole field of brain training that has actually done this kind of clinical trial to show that our programs work. It's kind of amazing, Fred. You can open your phone and you can search for brain games, and you'll probably find 1,000 brain games on your phone, right? But the sad truth of it is that, virtually none of those have been through the kind of classic randomized controlled trials, the gold standard of determining efficacy, to determine if they actually work. And in fact, in the study that was just published by Dr. Lin out of the University of Rochester, she specifically compared the Brain HQ exercises to things like Sudoku and solitaire, and showed that this kind of brain training is much more effective than Sudoku and solitaire. And what that really shows us is that, hey, there's a lot of things you can do to kind of keep your mind busy, but there's really only a few specific things you can do that are really going to improve your brain wiring and your overall cognitive function. And that's really what makes us different.
Tell us about pricing.
When we founded the company, my advisor, Dr. Merznick, his co-founder, Jeff Zimmon, sat me down and said, hey, with this kind of science, we can probably help improve cognitive function in virtually everyone in the world. Older people, younger people, people who are healthy, want to keep sharp, people who are not healthy and want to get sharp again. And they said, hey, the way we're going to found this company is we're going to make this accessible to just about everyone. So just get ready for that. And so we did. So Brain HQ is really meant to be reasonably inexpensive. You could come to the website and actually register for free. And when you do that, you get one exercise per day to try out. And if you like them, you can subscribe. And it's $96 a year, which is about $8 a month. So we tend to think about that as 2 lattes at Starbucks. But I recognize that actually even that can be expensive for some people, particularly older people on fixed incomes. So we have a number of ways that people can actually get the program available as a full version at no cost. We actually work with more than 250 public libraries across America right now. And from those public libraries, people can actually just check out a copy of Brain HQ online, just like you might check out an electronic book for your Kindle, and do Brain HQ at their own homes, completely free. And we're actually also working with more and more Medicare Advantage programs. We're working with Anthem, working with Kaiser Permanente, working with Care Partners, and in many states where those Medicare Advantage programs serve customers, people can actually get Brain HQ as a wellness benefit direct from their Medicare insurance company at no cost to them. So we're just deeply committed to making sure the science gets out to just about everyone that it can help.
And I suppose this is an ideal time with what we're all going through with the coronavirus and so many people being at home. And so this is an activity that can actually do some good. Maybe it can help with the stress too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, at Posit Science, we're based in San Francisco. We're all working from home right now. I'm talking to you from my basement, Fred. You might hear my cat in the background. But one of the great things about Brain HQ is it is a fitness program, a brain fitness program that you can do at home. So if you have extra time while you're stuck at home, as well as catching up on Netflix and doing some jigsaw puzzles, you could sign up for Brain HQ and give these exercises a try. Keep your brain sharp and maybe do a little bit to relieve some of that stress and anxiety that so many of us are feeling right now by taking power over something you really care about, which is how your own brain works.
Again, it's brainhq.com. Dr. Henry Manka, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thanks, Fred. It's been a real pleasure.
And stay healthy. Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C. Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C. Crane.